Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at an advanced Colt rifle that you can't have. First off, I want to thank my buddy Alex for providing this rifle for us to take a look at. The rifle that you see here was made in Colt's custom shop. More than likely, I know the gentleman who built it, who does beautiful work. This rifle was put together with several of Colt's different projects that they've had over the last few years. And it's a perfect example of excellent technology, well thought out, well executed, but never sold. The background of this rifle is it was shipped to AIM Academy for a charity auction for wounded warriors at a competition shooting. For Colt, it does not have any model, and the invoice stated that it was model R0XXX. It is included on the invoice stating an M4 carbine, piston-operated system, 16-inch barrel, digital camo anodized finish, DGI operating system. Now, the strange thing is it's conflicting. This is not a external piston, it's an internal piston, so that was sort of strange. The box had a return addressed to Colt and was shipped directly to the range for the auction. I was told there was 8 made for the Marine Corps shooting team, hence the Marine Corps trigger. It was including accessories for the rail system, including extensions and other add-on rails, all camo as well. So this was built 8 off, and of course it was Marine. Now, we're going to go through all these different parts to show some of the really incredible features of this rifle. We're starting at the back. We're going to be looking at a Magpul STR stock, Magpul Myod grip. Now, the receivers that you see here, this is a digital anodized camo. The first time this was used was on the Colt LE901. Now, the LE901 had some different types of finish to it. There's different types of patterns that you can get with this as well. This is more of the Marine Corps digital camo that you see right here, but there was several different ones. Now, this is not Cerakote. This is actual anodizing. Incredibly smooth, absolutely beautiful finish. The lower receiver is a standard Colt M4 marked receiver. It does have the ABI safety and standard magazine release on the side. Now, if you look at the opposite side, you do have the Norgon ambi catch, and of course you have your safety standard ping pong paddle bolt release that you see over there. Now, what we're going to take a look at is the trigger. The trigger we see on here, you can see the U.S. Marine Corps symbol. This is a specific trigger that was designed for the Marine Marksmanship Unit. It's a Geisley. It's basically an SSSA trigger, which is an extremely nice 2-stage trigger. Now, interestingly enough, the buffer in here is an H2. The barrel that's on this rifle is a standard government profile LE6920 standard barrel, so I'm surprised there's an H2. I would have expected there to be an H. But the lower receiver, not all that much special other than the anodizing and the special trigger. Now, the upper receiver is where we really get into some neat stuff. This upper receiver was designed as the individual carbine. This was the individual carbine upper receiver. It comes in 2 ways. They had an internal piston, which you see here, and they had an external piston. The individual carbine was actually an external piston. But this is the exact receiver. As you can see, it's got a proprietary mounting system. Now, when you go back to the individual carbine times, they did not have M-LOK yet. All manufacturers basically had their own systems. You look at LWRC had theirs, LMT had their LM8 slick side. So this predates the M-LOK. This is an absolutely beautifully made receiver, contour, one piece. This particular model has extensions, and as Alex has stated, there are a few different types of extensions you have on here. The individual carbine just had the upper the gas block. But this is excellent. This has a standard bolt carrier group, a standard full-auto bolt carrier group. It's a standard mil-spec charging handle, and it does have the cam pin stop in here, which was used to prevent damage to the inside of the upper receiver cam slot area when using an external piston gun. And here is another really awesome feature. This is Colt's prototype cross-bolt gas valve. You have one setting is standard, one is suppressed. This is probably the nicest and best gas valve I have seen using a standard cross bolt. You have a notch on there, pushes in with a bolt tip, and on the opposite side with your finger. If you look at all the ones that are out there right now, basically what you're seeing is there's dials. Some of them have dials which you can stick a bullet through for when they're hot, you can rotate. Other ones have buttons you have to push to rotate. They're not very user-friendly. This is utterly the most user-friendly one I have ever seen. By having a cross bolt on here, you don't have to worry about messing around with gloves or any kind of a pin or any kind of a tool to push in a plunger so you can rotate. This one here, you can pretty much just take a bullet tip, push it in. Then when you have the opposite side, you can take that by hand and push that in, or use anything to push it in. It's just very easy to operate. This is a brilliant system. This is really a shame that Colt did not put this into production. This is excellent work. I certainly would want these on my gun, definitely over the ones where you have to have tools to do it. So this, again, utter shame that this wasn't put into production. Now the barrel we have on here is a standard LE6920 barrel. Now the muzzle brake on here is Smith Enterprises. They call it their good iron muzzle brake. A620 steel, 60 Rockwell, salt bath nitride finish, excellent muzzle brake. Now it's a little bit loud, but it's definitely an excellent muzzle brake. This rifle is a perfect example of when Colt gets it right. They do incredible work. You have good innovations on here, but they don't go anywhere with it. It just sits stagnant. This is very similar to a lot of Colt's recent products that are extremely successful. They're beautiful designs, but they won't sell them on the commercial market. For example, the LE6920P, they no longer make those for the commercial market. The CK901, well, the CK901 would have been an incredible seller. Never introduced it to the commercial sales. The next one, the individual carbine. If they would have sold the individual carbine as configured in the sale, it would have sold like crazy with all these incredible features, such as the upper receiver. Adding options for adjustable gas blocks for suppressed would be an incredible option for the commercial market due to the fact that there's so much suppressors out there. Another example of them dropping the ball and having the product to make money and not selling it. And lastly is the new Colt M5. Now the M5 has been shown in trade shows for quite some time. It is in production for military sales only. The Colt M5, now we don't want to confuse ourselves here. We have the first M5 that was designed along with the LE1020 as an alternative operating system using external piston short stroke Topic that was developed by Colt's Greg Kachenko. It was not adopted. They ended up going with the LE1020 design, and that brought us right up to the 6940P. The new M5, basically what it is, if you look at the LE901 16S or LE901 or CM901, you will see that they have the ambi features. They would have the ambi bolt release. They would have the ambi magazine release, giving you all those features. Well, basically what they did with the individual carbine was they took that exact same receiver, shrunk it down, so it would be 5.56. So Colt was now offering a ambi lower receiver. And also the M5 has M-Lock one-piece upper receiver. Well, that's for sale for military use, but you can't have it because they won't sell it to you. The only thing Colt's willing to sell the commercial market right now is the standard CR6920, the standard models. The advanced models that would compete with a lot of the best guns that are out there, they won't sell to the commercial market. Colt has done some really incredible things with R&D. They've submitted those things to government contracts, for military sales, but they don't take that technology and move it forward into the commercial sales, where they surely would have recuperated any R&D costs with this, what they would have got with the commercial sales. But it's a real shame that all these rifles that they have that were absolutely gorgeous, we've never gotten a chance to buy. What logic goes behind that? Your guess is as good as mine. Why they won't sell it? Why you look at something like the Mark 47 CMMG Mutant, you look at that, and you look at the CK901. The CK901 looks a hell of a lot nicer. It looks a lot nicer, and it would give that rifle a run for its money. It would give any of the 7.62x39 ARs that take AK magazines a run for its money. It was the same thing with the LE901. Now the LE901. Absolutely gorgeous rifle. I love mine. It's my favorite gun I don't shoot. And I don't shoot it because it's no longer in production and Colt isn't supplying any spare parts. So if I was to go out and shoot that, which I would love to do, and something was to break, I wouldn't be able to replace the parts on that. And there's just another example of a beautiful rifle, the LE901. I can't give you any criticisms on it whatsoever. It was done beautifully by Larry Robbins. The only problem was it was just too late. There was too many of them out there before it that were already combat proven. They just came in too late, and we can't even see them for sale to the civilian market any longer. We hope with the new management with CZ that Colt may release some of these things and should really show what they can do to this rifle to make it a next level rifle. We know they've got it. They just don't sell it. But now my buddy Alex, who has this, is very lucky. This is a very nice rifle, a very nice collector's piece. You know, as I said, with this gas block and everything on it, it's one of those things where you love to go out and shoot it, but again, you won't get spare parts for it. So it's one of those things that you're just afraid to go out and shoot. You don't want to damage it. It's a collector's item. But I thought this was a beautiful rifle. I wanted to show it to you. I hate dangling things in front of you that you can't buy. But maybe somebody Colt is listening to me right now, and they're thinking maybe they might be a good idea to take some of these things that they've done that are incredible and get them out into the commercial market where people can enjoy them, and people can gain faith that Colt is doing something in that R&D lab and not sitting idly. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share. Thank you.